I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's Park Board meeting, and we'll start out with the agenda. Do we have any additions or corrections? If there are none, then I need a motion to accept.
So move.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, then we'll move on to the minutes from December 13th.
Move their approval.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, then we'll move on to number 3 with the grants.
Well, this is somewhat tied into the fitness court project that Bill will talk about in some detail. For a better phrase, I've given my heart and soul here in the last 2 months on this fitness court project. It has a price tag of $135,000. I've written 18 grants, applications. We've got $24,000 right now, so somewhat farther to go. And we've called on 21 businesses in the community. So and I'm not going to get into, it's too early to reveal all those who have given so far, but I'm feeling very positive about this. I think the key thing that, just so everybody would understand, the Park Development Fund will make up the difference by what I can't get. Just everyone, but I want to be aware of that. And I have no idea what the fund total will be. I've been pleasantly surprised a couple times, and I've got my hopes up for others. So, but other than that, that's where my focus has been.
Any questions for John? Okay, then we'll move on to the fitness court.
And so, yeah, John's been working tirelessly, doing a great job for us. I'm going to just throw up on the screen here for you. This is kind of what the back wall of the fitness court will look like, that you'll be able to see from the trail and or the 3rd Street North. And you can kind of see that there's a lot of areas here where you can, it's going to show some exercises of how to do different things, but then there's this panel back here where the donors and the people giving us grants for this project will be able to be lettered and named on here, whoever they are, when this happens. This is just a snapshot from the company, kind of what it would look like. So just know that what John gets for stuff out there for money, people will be acknowledged at the physical site with their logo and names and stuff. So that's really, again, I can't thank John enough for his tireless efforts for working with this. So as we come out of our snowy season and start to look forward here to getting a groundbreaking, starting to work on this, target right now is the end of September to be finished at this point. There's a couple things. I got a couple of my staff that are working on some of the stuff on the backside, trying to get materials lined up, contractors, and such. We are going to hire out the concrete for this work. It's too big of a slab for our staff to handle, and we want to. Not that they couldn't do a good job, they can, but this is just kind of too big of a job for us. So, exact date of when we're going to start turning dirt out there, I don't know. Probably guessing sometime in May at this point, but will be determined. When we put the grant together for everybody, or for the National Fitness, we submitted a rough site plan, and with that was an area that you'll see on your screen here, and I don't know if I can zoom in anymore. No. So it was right in this area is what we were targeting for. We have not made that final determination yet. We need to get out there once all the snow's gone and actually do some physical measurements to see still liking this area to be more out in the open so that it's easily seen from the Third Street. I would rather not have a lot of trees around it because, you know, we don't need acorns and leaves and twigs falling on the court a lot. So trying to keep it more clean than we can. So once we get out there and actually do some measurements, it might slide any direction in here. We may lose this feature here, the balance beam feature right in the middle, but that will just get pulled up and we'll relocate that to another location. If there's small trees in there, well, we'll replant those and put them in another spot. But I just wanted to bring that forward to you guys, that's the way what I'm thinking at this point to target. As you go down the street, down the trail a little bit further, you do have some open area here between 6th Avenue and 4th. 4th, excuse me. Another nice spot, but my only problem with it is it'd be hard to see it from the road, and there's a number of trees, and this does build up with a lot of leaves in the fall. We've got that fence line along there, so it stacks up quite heavily in there, so I can just see this court getting full of leaves. But I'm looking for some sort of thoughts from you folks tonight. You know, you go down here, there's another little spot open, but again, it's protected and it's also got a lot of trees. Moving further down from 4th to 2nd, down by the rock garden, you might have a spot here right up by the corner. Could work. Again, this line here is our property line. We do not own this, so until the city can work something out with Burlington Northern, that could be a good site, but it's not going to happen before we need to install it. So really, there really isn't a whole lot of area for us to put it. Although I'm not trying to bring this up and say, well, this is where it's going to go. I'd still like some input from you folks tonight, if you've got any other thoughts. Otherwise, we are going to kind of move forward with that open area between 8th and Great Oak.
Just to give you a sense, this is going to be 38 by 38 square feet. So, and another way to look at it is about 1,000 feet due east of Rejuve Medical, or across from the Area Learning Center. So it'll give you a sense of where.
I've had one question from somebody that asked, okay, where do I park for down there? I do know that the printing company here has had some issues with people parking in their parking lot and then using the trail and doing different things. Obviously, we do not have any parking except for up at 2nd, and you know that's all we can offer at this point. The big thing that I think we'd like to try to get people to do, and I'm going to zoom out and bear with me for a second here to get a little bit better scale, is to tell people you can park in the River's Edge parking lot and use the trail to walk across and do it. You know, I think that's about the best we're going to be able to do. Otherwise, I don't know what else there is unless we gain some of this property, and I apologize for sliding this thing all over the place. Down here by the rock garden, if you could gain some here, we could make a parking lot. That could maybe happen in the future, but we'll have to see where that all lays out. Excuse me. So, any other questions or comments or concerns or on the potential location of this?
That appears to meet the criteria you were talking about for trees and the rest of it. And being located where it is, and people would be able to walk from, you know, a number of places and get loosened up to do whatever it is they're going to do. And I don't think you can look at a place and say, well, we can or can't put it there because there's not parking when you're talking about a facility like this. So it appears to me that you and your staff have done some looking, and I appreciate the recommendations, at least the thoughts that you've given us as to why it should be there.
There's another factor that'll probably make this more used than we would have just if it was that Lake Obegon Trail connection takes place here. And I don't know if you've ever heard the figure, but I've heard it several times that 100,000 people use that trail in a given year. And knowing that it's coming into the urban area now, more people will get on it. And so I think we're going to see, there will be some spillover to this, hopefully.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things too is that's probably the most visible spot from Third Street, you know, so people are at least aware where it's at.
Also, there is a flower garden there that really needs to be replaced. So it's not a problem in taking that out, because it's going to have to come out, something done with it anyhow.
Yeah, we were gonna do that this. Sorry, we were gonna do that this year anyway, so there'll be some major work going on down there. The other thing with this area is, and I believe we are working with somebody locally here to donate we're hoping to get a drinking water fountain and a water bottle filling station that would be placed there at the site. What that means is we are going to then need to bring in a water line, which we will be doing off of Great Oak Drive here and bringing it in here. That was planned anyway, no matter what we were doing, just to help feed another irrigation system down there. And then I'll zoom in again, apologize if you get dizzy. This is the 5 pylon informational sign area here. This is where the Flowers for Waite Park are donating money to raise for the water feature to go in the middle of that. This would be landscape, patioed, brick, retaining walls, resting area. So there's a number of reasons why we need water down there, and could turn into a very attractive, nice little sitting spot for people. And if they want to go work out, they can come over there, or vice versa. So
I think it's important to get a water fountain there too, with somewhere you can fill the fountain.
right, to be the eco-friendly.
Be a small, low one for pets to drink.
For what?
For pets to drink out of, because a lot of people bring their animals up.
We didn't look at that feature with it. I figured most people with pets are bringing some pan or something like that with them, but I've seen that. But we can certainly think about that and down the road. So if that's, if everybody seems to be in some sort of consensus of moving forward within that area, that's kind of where we'll tack it. We'll start measuring it all out and seeing how it all fits to lay it in there. And as the months go by here, and as you see at the bottom here, we're going to plan to meet again in April. Hopefully I'm going to have some more information that's going to come around here in the next few weeks that I hope to have tonight. Can have some more stuff to talk about then and let you know. So.
Any other questions for Bill? Okay, then we'll move on to Lorraine, our landscape coordinator.
Well, we're just getting ready. Things are going to start happening pretty soon in the general scope of the time. I've had some beginning gardener volunteers using our kind of new space that we've been given by Bill at their old maintenance facility, and starting some seedlings. Hopefully this is, they're sprouting even as we're speaking. And we have some grow lights up there, and we're kind of making do with, it's not quite a greenhouse, but I think we can get a few plants started, and we're overwintering some papyrus that will be going out front. So we're starting small, moving on. Park Meadows has already contacted me about their cleanup time, and so we have 2 days scheduled already. So Waite Park, things will be picked up around Waite Park, and hopefully everyone else will be contacting me pretty soon, scheduling when they want to get their folks out to do some cleanup, and we're just waiting for it all to start.
All right, well, thank you. Then we'll move on to number 6, the Eller property.
Yeah, and that's part of it tonight. I had hoped to have some information about that with the last 2 days of snow removal and then the residual from that. I did not have a chance to get a hold of of Dan. So I'm gonna defer any more comments about that till the next meeting. I will have some more stuff for you to share with you on that, and I apologize. That was my hope to get that taken care of for tonight, but.
Okay, not a problem. Well, then we'll just move on to the park updates.
Yep, so a couple things going on here. Number one is the bridge for the Wobegon Trail was set. I can't remember exactly, but at least about 2 weeks ago. So if you want to brave some snow and walk down there, you'll see it. It's in place. So things are moving forward. Exact date of opening, I don't know. What they're saying is late spring, early summer. So we're getting closer and closer and closer here. So once the ground thaws out, I think we'll see some more activity down there, and it's going to move along quite rapidly. So, and I haven't had a chance to be over on the St. Joe side. So if any of you folks have been over on the St. Cloud side to see any of the trail work over there, I've just not had an opportunity. But so that's good news. We're getting closer with that. 13th Avenue bathrooms. That's another one that I had hoped to have more information tonight, and I know I definitely will for April's meeting. I've got the architect, Ortel, is working on that with the contractor, and we're trying to get a meeting together next week to see where we're at. I think we're going to be pretty close. So again, that's something that I can't speak completely on tonight, but I know that we are moving forward with that and have more information in April. And then the other thing is that we're also exploring with the same contractor through this method of the next phase of Rivers Edge Park. The ball fields and the maintenance building and such. So there's maybe a slight chance that we could be breaking some ground on that yet this year. And again, I'll have a little bit more information in April when that comes around again. But so we're busy working on that kind of those things out there. We did meet with me and the supervisor, one of our maintenance guys that does a lot of the park work, and Lorraine here. That's probably been 2 months ago, hasn't it? Seems like time flies, but we had kind of a kickoff meeting for the year, kind of figuring out where we're going to go, what we're going to attack, and our big items for this year is to completely finish off the library reading garden. So that's done and moved on. To replace all the flower bed boxes in the 3rd Street Trail, right? To change those, get rid of the boxes, the wood cedar, and change that to the concrete. What else was there, Lorraine? There was
Little landscaping in front of City Hall.
Oh, City Hall landscaping out here. This is looking pretty tough in some areas. And then the fitness court. So that's about as much as we're going to be able to chew off it this year, along with just doing the maintenance that we need to do out there. So we did order some. We got the hanging baskets ordered with the water.
Dean's been working on it, yeah.
Okay, so if you noticed out on 13th Avenue in front here, we've got these special planters that have a reservoir in it for water. And Lorraine actually found the same company. They developed one for a hanging basket. In what is it, 7 days or how long does?
I think they're saying it lasts about a week.
About a
between
week.
waterings,
So,
which will be nice.
and it's got a really nice big hole in the side of it, so it's easy to fill. So we have ordered those, or Dean's in the process of ordering them, and we're going to be putting those on 3rd Street Trail this next year and get rid of the other baskets. So
We're going to keep those. We can use them for something else.
right, but hopefully that's going to be a lot
Recycle.
easier for maintenance and keep those plants going. So doesn't sound like a lot, but it is quite a bit for my staff and Lorraine to try to bite off this year. If we can hit all those marks, I'll be very pleased. And then we'll start working in the fall on next year's plan and starting to keep moving forward. So then that's about all I have for the park updates, unless anybody's got any questions.
I guess we're good there.
Oh, we're gonna still try and do the granite stairs over by the
Oh,
rock garden?
yes. Yep.
Or some kind of stair system?
Correct, yeah, in the rock garden to get down from where the cabooses or the train's at down to the trail, so. Yep, you're right, Lorraine. And I know that there's a desire from you and your folks to remove the rock from the rock garden and go to a mulch.
Go from gravel to mulch?
So, I think that's gonna be difficult with Martin Marietta donating all that, but, all I know is I told Lorraine, I said, not this year. We've got enough to chew off here, so, that may happen, but we'll see how that works out.
It's, if they can, see their way through to that, we can get the plants going in there better. Because the way the gravel just sort of rolls down the hill and makes banks of too deep of gravel that you can't grow anything through for that area. So it's always gonna look sparse and kind of,
Yep. So the other thing I was gonna bring up under other business, I'm sorry if you don't, the Ortel is working feverishly on the amphitheater plans. I hope to in the next week or two for us to sit down with Ortel, me and Rick and Shauna. We've been doing stuff, they've been working on it down in their office down there with their, with SCH and the other engineers and architects. I think Jeff has been feeding us questions on different things, and so we've been doing that from here and then sending them back and forth. But I requested a meeting to go over it. We have seen some really preliminary plans. I don't have those with me tonight to show, nor would I think I'd rather wait until we've gotten a little cleaned up. So hopefully by April there will be some more information on that. Excited about where it's going though. It's there's a lot of good questions on it, a lot of things that we're thinking that we didn't think about and we're trying to figure out. The other big news was, if you didn't hear, was the Senate bonding tour came through for that.
Did it really?
Yeah.
My
Well, you
goodness.
were you,
I was there, but I didn't know it had been on their list.
what's that?
Did it get on the approved?
No, I don't know if it made it on their list or not yet.
Oh, okay.
But I just was bringing it up for people.
Yeah,
too, is that-
I remember the tour and all.
So, positive, I mean, everything that we heard from them there was positive. I know it was not on the governor's list, but that doesn't surprise anybody.
Yeah.
So, stay tuned, but we'll see where that flies out at, and we'll know that more towards the end of this, probably the last day of the session in May, so. But plans are still to have everything ready to go, so if things did happen, that we could break ground and start working on that. Other than that, that's really all I have for tonight. Unless anybody else has got some questions or things that they'd like to talk about?
Okay, if we don't have anything, then I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Right, we have a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.